Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. This Saturday is UFC Vegas 60, and in the main event, we have Cory Sandhagen versus Song Yadong, and this is going to be my full breakdown and prediction of this amazing bantamweight matchup. And I absolutely love the bantamweight division, and I am so excited for this matchup. I mean, the bantamweight division is so full of talent. There is guys in the bantamweight division who are outside of the top 15. If they were in any other division, they would probably be in the top 10 of other divisions. That's how crazy good the bantamweight division is. And this is an amazing stylistic matchup. I mean, Cory Sandhagen is one of the funnest fighters to watch. You know, the way he moves, the way he strikes. You know, he's the elite of the elite in the division. And he's already fought for a title. He's had a fight against former champion TJ Dillashaw. You know, he's looked very good throughout his career. But in this fight, if he gets a win over Song Yadong, he's right back up there in title contention, in my opinion, even though Song Yadong's ranked further down the top 10. You know, you look at the division right now, you have Aljamain Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw going down at UFC 280. And then you have Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley at UFC 280, probably for number one contender. But I think the winner of this fight is like right around there as well. I mean, I think the winner of this fight potentially could fight Marlon Vera in their next fight. And that would decide the next number one contender after Petr Yan and Sean O'Malley. And if something weird were to happen in that fight, the winner of this fight could potentially fight for the title next. As crazy as that sounds, the winner of this fight will be in a very good spot. And for Song Yadong, this is the biggest step up in competition that he's ever gotten. And this is the best fighter that he's ever fought. And if he can go out there and finish a guy like Cory Sandhagen, I mean, that would be so impressive, and that would propel him to the top of the division, and he's still so young. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this matchup. I cannot wait. Stylistically, it's absolutely amazing. So you look at the tail of the tape for this fight. Cory Sandhagen is 14-4. Song Yadong is 19-6-1. Sandhagen is ranked number 4. Yadong is ranked number 10. Sandhagen is 30 years old. Yadong is 24 years old. Sandhagen is 5'11". Yadong is 5'8". Sandhagen has a 70-inch reach, and Yadong has a 67-inch reach. I mean, the one thing that sticks out to me is how is Song Yadong only 24 years old? He's so young. Cory Sandhagen has a height and reach advantage. It's not crazy significant, but it's at least worth noting. If you look at Cory Sandhagen's career, of his 18 pro MMA fights and his 14 wins, he's won 6 by knockout, 3 by submission, and 5 by decision. Of his 4 losses, he's lost 1 by submission and 3 by decision. And this is a guy that's fought some of the best fighters in the bantamweight division. His last fight was against Petr Yan at UFC 267, October of last year. And a lot of people forget, he took this fight on short notice. That is insanity. Imagine taking a short notice fight with Petr Yan for an interim bantamweight title. It was originally supposed to be Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling too. Aljamain Sterling pulled out like 3 weeks or a month beforehand, something along those lines. And Cory Sandhagen said, sure, I'll step in. And this was my favorite fight of last year. It was absolutely amazing. I gave Cory Sandhagen the first round, and then I gave Petr Yan the rest of the rounds. But those rounds were still very competitive, back and forth. Sandhagen had some success, but Petr Yan, even though he's no longer the champion, I still consider him pound for pound one of the best. And he was landing some good shots on Sandhagen. And Sandhagen showed me in this fight, he is so durable because his body was getting chewed up by Petr Yan. His legs were getting chewed up, and he was just right there throwing back. And also, I thought that Petr Yan would have a significant grappling advantage in this fight. He wasn't really able to take Cory Sandhagen down at all. So Sandhagen shows that he's been working on his grappling since his loss recently to Aljamain Sterling, where he got out-grappled. And he looked so good in the Petr Yan fight, even though he lost. And even though most likely he lost 4 out of 5 rounds. The fight before that was against TJ Dillashaw, July of last year. He lost this fight by split decision. I thought he won this fight. It was a close fight, but Sandhagen just landed the better shots, in my opinion. TJ Dillashaw supposedly hurt his knee in the first round, and that's why he was clinching up a lot. But he really wasn't having a lot of success with the clinch. He was just kind of holding on to Sandhagen, knee in the legs. I think I scored it It was rounds 2, 4, and 5 for Sandhagen. I think it came down to round 5, and I thought Sandhagen took round 5, and I thought it was pretty clear, but the judges gave it to TJ Dillashaw, and now TJ Dillashaw is fighting for a title. It's not the worst thing in the world because, Sandhagen ended up getting a title shot after this fight anyway, but it still sucks that he had to fight Petr Yan on short notice. Who knows how well he could have done having a full camp for Petr Yan. Before that, a highlight reel KO of Frankie Edgar in the first round. A flying knee where he just stiffened Frankie Edgar up. Perfectly timed, perfectly executed, and absolutely beautiful. One of the best knockouts of last year. Before that, he beat Marlon Moraes, spinning back wheel kick. Knocks Marlon Moraes out. That was in the second round of the fight. This was a fun fight up until that point, a competitive fight up until that point. I don't know how much this win truly means because of how chinny Marlon was becoming at this point in time. But Sandhagen was like one of the first few to knock out Marlon Moraes, who's now retired. And I still think the skills of Marlon Moraes were very high. It was just the chin that was a massive liability. But Cory Sandhagen went out there and exposed it. Another highlight reel KO. Before that, he lost to Aljamain Sterling. This is, the worst loss in his UFC career because Aljamain Sterling came out, shot on him immediately, got him down, got his back, and won via rear naked choke. But that was back in June of 2020. And Sandhagen said he's made the adjustments and he's been working on it. And, he's even called out Aljamain Sterling even before he won the title. And he said, I want that fight back. I owe Aljamain Sterling a nap. And that shows me that he's confident that he's worked on his grappling abilities and that, he wants that fight back with Aljamain Sterling. I would love to see it. And he looked good in the Petr Yan fight, defending takedowns. Before that, a win over Rafael Sunsao, a win over John Lineker, which is a solid win. That was a win via split decision. He made his UFC debut back in January of 2018. So hasn't really been in the UFC all that long, 4 years. I know that's a decent amount of time. But, I feel like Cory Sandhagen's been around forever. So it was actually shocking to me that he's only been around for 4 years. The one thing I really noticed about his resume, and I'm not saying, he's not an elite fighter. I believe he's one of the elite at 135. It's weird when you start picking out the wins. It's a decent win over Rafael Sunsao, but, that's Rafael Sunsao in late 2019. Not that great. Win over John Lineker's decent, but still not that great. And then every fighter that he's fought that I consider the elite of the elite today, he's lost to Aljamain Sterling, TJ Dillashaw, even though I thought he won, and Petr Yan. So it's kind of weird, but I still think he put on excellent performances in both of the losses to TJ Dillashaw and then Petr Yan, the two losses to those. And the only bad performance he's had in the UFC is against Aljamain Sterling. So if you look at Song Yadong, of his 19 wins, he has 8 by knockout, 3 by submission, 8 by decision. Of his 6 losses, he's lost once by knockout and 4 by decision and 1 by disqualification. And he has 1 draw as well. He comes into this fight on a 3-fight win streak. His last fight was in March of this year. He KO'd Marlon Moraes. I don't know how much it really means. Everyone's KOing Marlon Moraes at this point in time. Marlon retired after this fight. Marlon had some success in this fight early. I actually picked Marlon to win this fight. He landed some good shots on Song Yadong, but Song Yadong is just so fast and powerful. And I think he clipped him with a right hand and then an uppercut. Just dropped Marlon and then didn't even follow up, walked off. It was a beautiful finish. Before that, he had a TKO head kick against Julio Arce. This was a competitive fight up in this point. He finished it in the second round. Before that, he had a split decision win over Casey Kenny. That was a solid performance. And this just goes to show how active he's been. I mean, all 3 of these fights have happened since August of last year. Then in March of 2021, last year, he lost to Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips, not even ranked in the top 15, a very good fighter. Lost to Raulian Paiva, but probably should have won that fight, or it should have been a draw because he gassed himself out looking for a finish, and now he's kind of in a weird spot since then. But Kyler Phillips is a very good fighter. And then before that, he beat Marlon Vera. Now, this was a fight that I thought could have went to Marlon Vera. This is all the way back in May of 2020. But still, to look that good against Marlon Vera, and I know Marlon Vera of 2020 isn't the same Marlon Vera of 2022, but we know where Marlon Vera is now, and he's an elite fighter. He's a durable fighter. He's a well-rounded fighter, And Song Yadong, you can make the case that he won that fight. That was a very close, competitive fight. Song Yadong ate some big shots in this fight, but he threw some big shots back. He was ripping to the body. And this was a very competitive fight. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch that fight. But either way, he's fought some decent competition, even though it may not seem like it. You know, Cody Stamann, Marlon Vera, Kyler Phillips, Casey Kenny, Marlon Moraes. You know, I know, Marlon Moraes very chinny, and how much does that really mean? But still decent competition. And when I look at this fight and I compare these two guys' skill sets, I see Song Yadong, who's still very young. You know, he's only 24 years old, which is absolute insanity when you really think about it. And he's still learning and evolving as a fighter, but he has nasty power. He has great speed. He's very durable. You know, he's only ever been finished one time, and that was all the way back in 2014. That's how long ago that was. Actually, it was 2016. You know, so that, I mean, it's been 6 years since he's been finished. He's fought some decent opponents. He's took some big power shots. He's very well-rounded. You know, we haven't really seen his grappling tested all that much. We've seen Marlon Vera have some success in the clinch against Song Yadong, but I really don't think Cory Sandhagen is going to be grappling with Song Yadong in this fight. I think this fight is going to be primarily striking. When you look at Cory Sandhagen, he is one of the best strikers in the UFC, period. He's an amazing striker. He's really unorthodox. He's switching stances. He's like an upgraded version of prime Dominick Cruz. A lot of people compare him, to Dominick Cruz. He's like an upgraded version, has great footwork, constantly switching stances, has a great variety of attacks. Very durable himself, good stamina, has been 5 hard rounds against Petr Yan. And, I mean, both these guys have amazing skill sets. But when I break down this fight, I just see Cory Sandhagen with more elite experience. And, I really believe that this fight will play out on the feet. And I think Cory Sandhagen is a far superior striker. Can Song Yadong go out there and KO him? Yes, he can. He has the power to KO him. But Cory Sandhagen has never been KO'd, and he's taken some big shots. Petr Yan in their fight landed a nasty spinning back fist, and Cory Sandhagen was rocked, but he showed great recovery, And, Petr Yan is an absolute killer. So to recover against him after a nasty spinning back fist like that, Cory Sandhagen has an excellent chin. And I just don't know how often Song Yadong is going to be able to find the chin of Cory Sandhagen, because he just has excellent footwork. He's a very unique striker. He's hard to figure out. He's hard to get a read on. And I just believe, he has the 5-round experience. I think this fight is going to be close, maybe in the first or second round. But I think as the fight goes on and as Cory Sandhagen starts to get some reads and as Song Yadong starts to get frustrated, I think he's going to be pressuring Cory Sandhagen. I think Sandhagen is going to be circling out. I don't think Song can out-grapple him even if he wanted to. So I really think Song Yadong is eventually going to get frustrated. He's going to make a mistake. And I am going to go for my official prediction for this fight. I'm going to go Cory Sandhagen 3rd round TKO. And I know Song Yadong's only been finished one time back in 2016. But I just think he hasn't gone 5 rounds. He's gone a hard 3 rounds against Marlon Vera. But I think he's going to be tired. I think Cory Sandhagen's going to have the stamina advantage. I think Cory Sandhagen has power in all his limbs. I mean, he has nasty power in his punches. He has nasty power in his kicks. He has a variety of attacks, spinning wheel kicks, flying knees. And Song Yadong, while he's fast and he has good defense, he shells up well. I think as he moves forward and, he's not landing shots and Cory Sandhagen circling out and pumping the jab and kicking the legs and kicking the body of Song Yadong, I think he's going to take more risk as the fight goes on. He's going to try to land a KO shot on Cory Sandhagen. He's not going to find it. And I think Cory Sandhagen is going to find some type of highlight reel KO in the 3rd round as Song Yadong kind of presses forward, kind of, throwing caution to the wind, looking for a KO. Maybe Song takes the 1st round. He has great body shots. He has very fast hands. He could land some good shots. And maybe Sandhagen's getting some reads and not being super, putting a high output just yet. But that 2nd and that 3rd round, I think Cory Sandhagen's going to start to pick it up and be pumping the jab, busting Song Yadong up. Song Yadong's going to be looking for a KO shot. And Song doesn't mix in a lot of kicks. So when you're very predictable against a guy like Cory Sandhagen, you're really just ripping to the body and then looking for the headshot. I think Cory Sandhagen is going to do very good moving away from him. And I think, eventually Cory Sandhagen, I'm going to say 3rd round head kick, drops Song Yadong, follows him to the ground, finishes him off with ground and pound. I just think Song Yadong, he's very good, but he's still young. You know, he gets better every fight, but he's still evolving. Meanwhile, Cory Sandhagen is in the prime of his career. He's looking to make a return to a title. You know, Song Yadong is getting this chance, ranked number 10, you know, against a guy who's ranked in the top 5. And I just think it's a little bit too soon for Song Yadong to fight elite competition like Cory Sandhagen. Even though I think Song Yadong is very good, the division is just full of absolute killers. And I think Cory Sandhagen gets it done, TKO, 3rd round. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, and thank you so much for watching.